Hi, this is Rachelle with Scrapcraftastic, and we are going to be starting something fairly new to this channel. If you've been around for a while, you know that I love making junk journals. I don't usually use them myself. I usually end up putting them in my shop or I just store them here in the craft lab. Well, I've had questions about how do you use a junk journal? What's the purpose of a junk journal? I would like to see you use a junk journal. So hopefully I'm going to move toward that and also show you some easy, simple ways to make junk journals. I know a lot of that process is associated with using vintage items. I do now have a few because I ordered some things from eBay, but you don't necessarily need them. And really, I've always wanted to figure out a way to incorporate my planner stuff into making journals. I wouldn't even necessarily call them junk journals. So if you're not into the vintage thing, you're more into the planner side of things, this is going to be a project that you will like. It will also help you use up some of those 12 by 12 papers we used to buy back when Michael's had a great selection. Maybe you have some of the Target Dollar Spot old planner supplies or some of the dollar bin supplies from Michael's. Gather all of that together and prepare to work on your project. I do have a list of like a trigger list of supplies that you might want to have on hand as far as having the different papers to put in your journal because unless you really want to, we're not just going to use like a dot grid or just plain copy paper in these. I am going to mix it up. So these are more on the junk journal side, but again, I tend to use more new things versus junk. I may start out with junk because I think the cover of this, if I remember correctly, because I started on these last year. But I think the cover of this one is probably an Amazon packaging. I can't remember what I use for the cover of this, but usually these start out with some type of junk, old chipboard, cereal box, have cereal boxes that I keep here in the craft lab just in case. And then the fabric, this was fabric that I got on clearance from Joanne last year. It does have some cotton batting to make it soft and quilted feeling, but I got a huge bag of the cotton batting from Walmart a while ago, and it's enough to last probably for years. This has probably the cotton batting. I'm not sure if I used cotton batting or some felt. I kind of um, rotate between the two because I need to use up my felt. This has a traveler's notebook style binding. The fabric that I used on this is was a gift from my mom. This ribbon, I think, was on clearance at Joann. So I pretty much don't buy anything full price if I'm buying anything for journal making. I buy off season and just store it to have it on hand for when that inspiration hits for me to use it. Like these leaves, I think I got these a couple of years ago from Dollar Tree. A lot of the things that I use are from Dollar Tree. I made this frame myself. It's chipboard and just covered it with the fabric. And then these corners, I probably got them from Amazon, maybe Temu, whatever. And then this is one of my digitals, and I added some stickles and some collaging, a little lace and everything inside. But that's the kind of thing that I like to do. I really enjoy this a lot more than planning most of the time. I do have my moments when I just want to jump in my planner and put down some stickers and lay out a page. But right now, this is my thing. Now, I know this isn't for everyone, and we are going to start simple over here, and I'm going to try and keep it more planner related. I know a lot of people are moving from typical planning in a preset or prefab planner where you already have the dates, the columns, or the rows for your planning, and they're moving to more of a free form journaling style. This will probably work great for you. And again, I may use a variety of different papers. You don't have to do that. If you want to use all copy paper, go for it. If you have different color papers you want to use, do that. I'm just doing what I enjoy. I'm just going to share different options with you. So just keep that in mind. I will post the list of papers that might trigger you and you might think, oh, I didn't even know I had that I could use that. I'm going to post that list over on the community tab. But in the meantime, I've scratched down some notes that I want to mention of supplies you might need. So, of course, you'll need scissors, a ruler, glue. A good glue stick is a good idea too. A corner punch, if you have one. Most of the planner people have a corner punch. You'll need a paper trimmer. It's a good idea, but you don't have to have one. And a hole punch would be good to have as well. On the more advanced side, you would probably need a needle with a small but large enough eye to hold wax thread. Wax thread looks kind of like this. I'm pulling a piece off of, well, I'll show this one, a journal that I'm working on too that I haven't quite finished upside down. So I stitched in the signatures. Signatures is just a group of your pages. They are stitched in with a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. I've done that on this channel before. I'll try to find the video and link it in the iCard above if you want to check it out. Our first project may or may not include stitching. I'm going to try and stay away from the stitching and show a no-sew version. Let me know in the comments if you would prefer the no-sew version. But you still will need thread. If you don't want to invest in the waxed linen thread, you can use the baker's twine from Dollar Tree. You can also use embroidery floss, and I believe embroidery floss is just a few cents. So some ideas on things that you might want to start collecting: envelopes and different types of papers, including book page, graph paper, old planners, packing paper, like the packing paper that you get from Amazon. Not all of it is made equal. This is the thin version. I prefer the heavier weight packing paper, but both work. Scrapbook paper, again, the big 12 by 12 pads. It doesn't have to be the paper, it can be the cardstock. If you have misprints, if you're a digital person like me, I have misprints all the time. I keep that paper because I paid for that paper and I try to repurpose it. If you have digitals that you might want to use in your creation, get those together, get some printed. Ledger paper, you can get ledger paper at the Dollar Tree. Most of these things that I'm mentioning, you can get at Dollar Tree. Ledger paper, file folders, grocery bags, like when you go to the grocery store. I don't know, it's different in different states. We still get bags in the grocery store here, and you can request paper bags for your groceries. When I wasn't doing self-checkout, every few visits to the grocery store, I would request paper bags so that I could use them for my journals. Old calendars, magazines, junk mail flyers. The day that I'm recording this is election day, so I'm sure you got plenty of junk mail flyers. I think in one day I got 6 and I just kept all of those and then the rest of them went into the recycle bin. So if you get flyers in the mail, that's a nice sturdy weight. You can use that to make a cover with. So hold on to those. You can use that for other elements inside your journal as well. Writing paper. So if you have old stationery that you don't use, you can use that. If you have old drawing paper, maybe from your children, you can use that. My son gave me a drawing paper pad that he had from school that he didn't need anymore. So I'm going to repurpose that paper. Wrapping paper. You may have rolls of wrapping paper that you don't plan to use or have plenty, so you can incorporate that in your journals as well. Paper doilies, they sell those at the Dollar Tree. Notebook paper, you can coffee or tea stain your paper. Now, I know a lot of people won't be into that because that gives that vintage vibe. But if you have decorative sprays, shimmer sprays, or watercolor, you can use any of those techniques to change the color of your paper. And I may get into showing you how to use the inexpensive acrylic paint. It's like 58 cents at Walmart to make your own paint sprays. We all probably have copy paper because planner people, cardstock, vellum, the transparency paper, and even the old green hanging folders. I have a few of those and they sell those at Walmart. I'm not sure they have those at Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree also has index cards. I use a lot of index cards lately. They have time cards, lots of things. Also, I want to mention, if you don't want to make your own notebook, which to me, that's the fun of it, making your own journal, you can also use composition notebooks or any of the notebooks from Dollar Tree. I plan to show you how to use an existing notebook already done, created, to turn that into your own journal. I'm going to say junk journal, but I don't necessarily mean junk journal. Junk is different for everyone. Calling it junk journal encompasses a bunch of different things. You have some creators that only use vintage materials. You have some that only use digitals. You have some that use a mixture of both. I don't really use vintage that much. I prefer to make my things look vintage if I'm going for the vintage look. I tend to lean more to the side of the creators that used to make mini albums and kind of convert it over to making junk journals, but I also have that planner side to me too. So again, we're going to use a lot of our planner supplies to create. But here is what I saw at Dollar Tree. So they have the pom pom makers. So if you want to put something cute and fun on your journal, you can make your own pom poms. They have the glue erasers. They have the stamp blocks. So if you buy your clear stamps from Dollar Tree, they have the blocks. They have X-Acto blades or blades to cut with. They have palette knives for your paint. They have 12 by 12 scrapbook paper fabric. They have modeling clay, different types of specialty markers. I'm going to grab one of the gold markers because I have an idea for that. They have the tiny wood pieces and these wooden frames. I'm going to grab one of those, which you will see most of this in the haul that I'm going to share with you shortly. The small wood pieces can be used to make charms for your journal. Here's a better look at the beads. They have sequins. There's the cutting mat. They have different containers, so if you need to decant something, you can do that. Of course, they have glitter and paint. I'm not really experienced with the paint. I've only purchased one tube of white acrylic paint and it was not good at all. But I haven't tried these small bottles of paint like the ones they have in Walmart. I can't recommend those. They do have the small containers of Mod Podge for $1.25. I'm not sure that that's a great bargain, but you could give it a try. They also have this Crafter's Square Glue. I haven't had much success with that, but it may work in your climate. They have the Eileen's Tacky Glue as well. And I'm not sure what those yellow bottles were. I didn't even notice them, but there may be another type of glue you might be interested in trying. Here's some more of the 12 by 12 scrapbook paper. They also have lots of stencils, which is a good investment. And these stencils that are on this wheel are fun to use, and you get quite a bit for your $1.25. They have the square ones, the circular ones, and the floral shaped ones. And here we have some foil cardstock. It looks like it's 6 by 6. This section has all the stickers and embellishment type stickers. It has the bling, the alpha, the clear stamps, it's stencils, it's all in here mixed up. But it is worth looking through this section. They have some really good clear stamps. And as I mentioned, they have the acrylic blocks for the stamps as well. So make sure you grab a block for your stamps because acrylic blocks are expensive other places. So that $1.25 is well spent on that. They have some more fabric here. And this terry fabric is something new. Lots of different types of yarn. And then over on the stationery aisle, they have the calendars. Again, the calendars make great papers for your journals. And here I'm showing some of the supplies that you may use. These Westcott scissors are good quality scissors. They sell those in Walmart also, or at least they used to. They have the plastic rulers. They used to have metal rulers, and maybe a different location may also still sell those. I just didn't see any here. So they have lots of folders and a large envelope. So if you need to store your project pieces, you can use those. They have some label stickers that would work great, and some of these writing stationery kits could be used. And definitely envelopes, and I'm gonna grab a couple of boxes of these because I like the envelopes with the triangular flap. They have several different sizes of envelopes available. Of course, the planners, I'm always gonna look at the planners. I saw briefly that they do have the time cards here. I didn't notice them while I was there, but they do have them. There's the time cards. They have legal pads, all different types of papers. So legal pads, they do have the ledger paper somewhere. And then again, as I mentioned, if you want to just use an inexpensive notebook and turn that into a junk journal style notebook, then you can do that as well. And it doesn't have to be a bound book, it could be spiral as well. You could make something on disc. You could use your six ring binder, however you want to do it, you can do it. That's one thing I like about making junk journals. There are no rules. You can do whatever you want. As long as you're happy with it, that's all that matters. So this is just another look at the stationery aisle. And that is it for Dollar Tree. Then I jumped over to Walmart and I just wanted to show you the envelopes here. I don't know which one is the best bargain, but I do prefer the envelopes with the triangular flap, and I didn't see any at Walmart. And of course, I had to look at this Happy Planner. I don't know. I'm not a Happy Planner girl anymore, but I always look at them when I see them in Walmart. That was the end of my shopping trip for preparing for this project. So let's get into what I actually purchased. So I'm going to set these aside for the moment, and then I'm going to give you a little peek into those in a sec. At Walmart, we'll start at Walmart. I picked up a few bottles of paint. These are 53 or 58 cents. I can't remember which, but around that, around 50 cents. They're usually pretty picked over because these are pretty decent paints. I prefer the matte, and then if I want to add any shine to it, then I can go over it with something else to seal it, but I do prefer the matte to start. So I got jack-o'-lantern, and I may have this already. I need to do some swatches, add them to a swatch book so that I can make sure I don't buy repeats of the paints because I have quite a few of these apple barrel paints. This is chestnut. I figure for those of you who don't use ink and are not into the Tim Holtz inks, they are fairly expensive, then maybe we can do a faux ink or faux sprays with these or come up with a easy way to stain your pages. So that's the reason for the light mocha and the chestnut color. So we'll see if those work. Of course, being the planner person that I am, I picked up some more precise V5 retractables because I do like the way these write on the thinner paper in the Stalogy. I prefer these over the Sharpie S Gel. This seems to leave too much bleed, too much shadow. It's a little too dark. It's point 0.7. I can't find the point 0.5, and this is point 0.5. So I think this works better. And since most of my planners are on that thin paper now, I think this will be better. So I picked that up. Okay, now for more of the supplies for upcoming journal projects. I'm not going to say we're using all of this. I'm just restocking. This is the Jot mailing envelope, craft envelopes. It's 9 by 12. You fold this in half. That is perfect for a cover for a junk journal right off the bat. I get the one with the metal clasp because I think you get two more in the package than you do with the ones that with the self-adhesive. It's not an issue. You can easily pull this metal clasp off if you're not using it. But again, just this can be used to make a cover for a journal. And it will hold 8.5 by 11 paper folded in half perfectly. So I picked those up. Then if you want something smaller, you can add these on to make a flap, make your journal into a folio style journal. I picked these up. Again, with the clasp, you get more in the package. Okay, so I picked these up. They make great project holders, and I don't necessarily need the holes for putting them in a binder, but it does come in handy if you have small bits and pieces, die cuts. You put them in the front. and then your larger papers can go in the envelope part. So I get quite a few of these when I find them. So I got two of the pink, two of the blue. I could only find one of the green. So project storage. These are those triangular envelopes that I mentioned that I prefer over the um the straight across flat because you can make a whole journal out of envelopes. But I got both sizes because I have projects coming up for those. This is that gold marker. I think, yep, it's a metallic marker, so hopefully it'll work for what I want. I know I have others of these, but I wanted to make sure it was nice and juicy, so I decided to get a new one. Then I don't need these. I have so many napkins, but I couldn't resist. You have to be careful with the napkins at the Dollar Tree because they're not always printed on all four corners. But I think they are still worth it. So this is 24 napkins, $1.25. And if I don't use them for a project, then I can use them in the kitchen. These are as well. Both of these are fall themed. I think I have this already, and I don't like getting the napkins with the color, but I can use these napkins to just cover a regular piece of paper or a regular envelope like this and turn it into something completely different. So I got the small, I couldn't decide, so I got them both, the small pack and the large pack. Can't have too much for Christmas, so I got both of those. Also got those frames that I showed in the video. So I know this is off season, but I have ideas and I always collect a few greeting cards, especially for Halloween, because that's my favorite time to make for, even though I didn't make that much this year because I didn't have the time or energy to do it. I wanted to, but I couldn't. But I always keep my Halloween stash in order. So I picked up these cards. I try not to get anything with glitter on it. So yeah, I got that one. That's a Hallmark one. I think these are all Hallmark. Yeah. This one, I thought that foil was really nice. This would make a good embellishment for a journal cover. For example, or you could turn this into a journal itself. But if this was like the right color scheme, this could be a nice embellishment base for the cover of a journal. So I got that, the orange foil and the black writing. It's really nice. This I thought was really simple. This could be an embellishment for the inside of a journal. Don't necessarily care about um, the sentiment inside because you can cover that. You can just cut off the front and use that. And also the envelopes can be used too. You could just take the envelopes themselves and create a journal. Which you may, which you might. I just thought that was cute. It doesn't have any glitter. It does have embossing, so the letters are raised and really don't care about that part. All right, so I just got those cards, and that's everything that I got from Dollar Tree. So before we go, I know I'm giving a lot of information here, but I'm just excited and ready to go. I hope you'll stick around and give this a try and see what we make, especially since I'm using planner supplies. This is a journal in process. These are the signatures of this journal. Okay. I made these envelopes for some type of embellishment on the front. Now I'm not so sure I want to do that, but we'll see how it goes. I also like to do stitching in my journals. I have a very inexpensive sewing machine that I picked up from Walmart back during 2020 because I have an old Kenmore machine that was acting up and I didn't really know how to work on it. I do know more now because I've watched some YouTube videos. So basically, I have two sewing machines, but I still use my cheap one for sewing paper. So, and it doesn't hurt the machine. I do find that I have to change my needle fairly often because the needle gets dull, but that's just the needle. It doesn't hurt the machine, and I just make sure I clean my machine regularly. Okay, so this is just giving some example of the papers that I use. This is vellum. We use that for planning. This is scrapbook paper. So most of us have 12 by 12 papers in our planner stash. This is actually from a cheap little book from Dollar Tree for Christmas, and I made an envelope out of one of the pages. So that's what that is. This is some craft colored paper, just regular paper. This is a misprint or an insert that I didn't use and I coffee or tea stained it. This is grid paper that I printed from my printer. This is from some ribbon that I dyed to make closures for this journal. And I just, while they were wet, I pressed the ribbons on this paper to help dry them faster. And it left this dyed look on the paper. So I stuck it in the journal. More coffee or tea stain paper, more grid paper that I printed. And this is more scrapbook paper from 12 by 12. I made this folder for this. I don't really care for the way it turned out, but I'm going to make it work. But this is 12 by 12 paper. I grunched it up a little bit with some ink on this side. This is ledger paper, coffee tea stain paper. This is the envelope that I made with the 12 by 12 paper. This will be the center of this signature or set of pages. And when I do my 3-hole pamphlet stitch, the stitch will be hidden in the envelope, so you won't even see the stitching. This is just giving you examples of the papers that I use. Again, just regular coffee tea stain paper, ledger paper. All the pages that we saw on the other side, you'll see again on this side, so I'm not gonna go through all of those. This paper is torn, but I'll just use some washi tape or some of my faux vintage tape to repair that. Not a big deal. May even be covering it with something else. Okay, so that's my first signature. So this is some of that faux snow netting that I put in here because this is supposed to be a Christmas journal. And again, with the vellum, scrapbook paper, I use a lot of the same papers in my signatures, but I do mix it up. So like I have this pocket here. This was just an experiment that I did with a piece of 12 by 12 paper. Another one of those book pages that I'm turning into an envelope. This paper was paper that I sprayed with some of my sprays, or it might have been a backing paper where I was spraying something else. And I just use it in here, and it can still be written on or designed on, so that's not an issue. And then this is the center of the signature. So this is a good way to use those 12 by 12 papers with the huge design that I think they made for scrapbookers to do their layouts on. You can trim that down and make it fit in your journal and use it in the center of your set of pages. So that's an idea for that. And if I'm giving you too much information, don't worry, I'll go over a lot of this again in future videos to see that I do anything different here. So I folded this over. It can be glued down to make a pocket. It can just be a flap that you can attach another page to. And again, I don't think this is too grungy or over the top. I mean, I do have the coffee and tea stain paper in here, but you don't have to do that. Um, it's just regular papers for the most part. And just different types of papers, dyed papers. You can dye your own papers. Then this is one of my typical folders that I make for traveler's notebooks. This is just a little bit bigger, so this would go in a half letter size traveler's notebook. And we are going to make a journal using this method, using this style as a cover. We're going to do a little bit more to it to make it more suitable for being a journal cover, but I think this is a good place to start, even though you will have to do the stitching if we do this one first. If you don't want to do the stitching first, if you want to try the no-sew version first, you're going to have to let me know in the comments. We have two options here. I think it would be a good idea whether you are doing the junk journal or making just a regular journal to know how to do the 3-hole pamphlet stitch. Okay, so that's pretty much it for that signature. Again, this is just the beginnings of this journal. Of course, I'm going to add embellishments and fill it out. I just wanted to show you that. That's something that I really need to work on and get finished. We got too much stuff going on here, so let's move some of this out of the way. Okay, we're not going to flip through this one. Also, if you see anything here that you have questions about how I'm using it as far as the things that I picked up from Dollar Tree and Walmart, let me know in the comments and I can try and demonstrate how I use those things. And if you watch my other channel, you can see how I put together both of these journals. There's videos showing most of my progress on these. This is a pocket here. Okay, just wanted to show that. All right, so this one is a little more complicated. I think a little more advanced, but here we go. I have some things out of whack because I'm still working on it. So I made this folio style and traveler's notebook style. So we have folio type things going on the front inside cover with lots of pockets and ephemera, tucks, uh, tags going on. I can't even get the whole thing in frame, but these are envelopes that I made into flips. So they go here. This is a little tuck spot, and these pumpkins down here are tuck spots as well. This is a mixture of most of the little ephemera pieces that you see are from digitals. I created these tags from a digital, but this vellum is stenciled with the leaves, and the base part of this was made with scrapbook paper or scrapbook cardstock. When I started this project, I tried to make sure I used as much cardstock as I could because I'm trying to use up my stash. So, and then we have this belly band closure. The twine that I used here is from Dollar Tree. And I did do quite a bit of stitching here in this journal. And you can add charms or whatever. So there's space in there to add your photos, ephemera. You could add more journaling cards. There's plenty of space in that section. All right. So here's the part that's more planner related. I kind of did what I was mentioning from the other journal where I had the folder, and I made the folder the cover of this. So you got pockets in the front. The stuff doesn't want to stay in the pockets, but you got pockets in the front. You have a large pocket for storage here and here, and then you have this pocket in the back, and then a large journaling card. All right, this was stitched, but I made this a blank monthly calendar in this journal. So you get to choose what your start date is. All you need is to write this in or use your stickers, however you want to do it. Write in if you want a Sunday start or a Monday start, however you want to do that. And I think this has 13 months, so it can carry you through 1 year and a month. So there is the planner part of this one. Then this is the junk journal. So if you want to practice your journaling skills, that's what this is for. I put the pocket on the outside of this one. This is kind of similar to the folder, but just a little different. I used two different pieces of paper. I made this leather look flap for this envelope. The envelope has bits and pieces in it, and it is expandable, so you can add more in it. It has this banker's closure. I use some of this netting, metallic netting. This is one of my digitals. And this flips up for more writing space. You have a journaling card here, so you can write on the back of that. This is an envelope, so you can tuck things in here and into this bag. It's used as a pocket. Room for writing. This is a misprint digital or something that I didn't use that I coffee or tea stained. Same here, but you can like glue your own stuff on here. So you can use this as a glue book, scrapbook, put your memory pieces in here. You have a pocket here to tuck things in. You can add things to the back of those. It's your choice. You know, you do it your way. That's the great thing about this. I like choices. A journaling card. This was made out of an index card and it's just collaged on the front. Got space for journaling here and in the background. Another one of my digitals, more room for writing. I have stenciling here. This is decoupage from Tim Holtz tissue paper. This was some of the dyed paper that I dyed with food coloring. I stenciled on here. This is a digital, just some regular craft paper. Other side of that netting and the dyed paper. So let's see. I'm gonna flip all the way through this one. This is the envelope. It has journaling card in here that I embossed. Room for writing. Of course, you can add more to this, and it just tucks in there. So if you think you are interested, be sure to follow along, and I can show you how to make all of this stuff. Okay. This is another one of those embossed cards. I embossed it in gold. This flips back and forth and has little tags in there so you can write on those tags. You can add more bits and pieces to this, and I think This is a little belly band, so you can slide something in there. Let's turn this the other way. And then here's another tag down here. So if you don't want the tags in there, you can slide a photo in there. Same here. You can collage on this page, writing on this page. This is the other side of the bag with another journaling card, so you can write on the back of that. Again, collaged on that side. And this is as a fall theme, if you haven't guessed. And then this is the back. You can do whatever here as well. And you got some more tags and cards on the back. This is another folio section. This is what started this whole thing. And this opens up like this. This opens up like this because I needed something more sturdy to hold this in here. This is a Dollar Tree notebook. It is dot grid, okay? And I covered it with the same fall theme paper that I'm using throughout. So you have a whole notebook that you can take out of this. So this has 3 notebooks. This one, the junk journal, and the monthly calendar. So you can do a lot with making your own stuff. It's exciting to me. And then this is an envelope that I made out of a misprint. It has a little, let's see, a little vellum pocket on the front. So you can put something in there pretty that you want to show through. And then you can put some other little things in the back there. That slides behind this belly band, which is one of my favorite papers on the inside. Then you can put your notebook back in here, tie it up. And this is just fun to me. I really like this kind of stuff. I really, really do. Okay. And then you can close that up and hold it in place so it's not slipping and sliding around. And you have all your stuff right there together. Now, this is something that I'm still working on. This is just a little folio made with scrapbook papers that goes on this additional elastic here. And I'm still decorating it, but this is what it looks like. I'm going to be tucking things in the pockets. I don't think I made a pocket there. Then we have this belly band here, more of the embossed paper, an envelope with a little journaling card in there. And of course, you can add your own items in there. It's embellished on the other side. This opens up. This is a flap here with some journaling cards in there. It's a tuck spot here. So you can tuck something in there. This is a tuck spot here. It has some things already in there. All right, then this is a tuck spot here as well. So you can tuck things in there. I'm not sure I'm finished with this, but I don't know. Then you got this pocket on the back with some more cards, tags, things that you can use here, just right on the back of them. You can add them to your junk journal or somehow add them in to the monthly calendar or the blank notebook in the back. And again, that goes on this elastic here. And it is reinforced on top and bottom with some of my vintage tapes, vintage look tapes to help support the folio. So that goes there. And that is it for that journal. So you basically got a whole flip through. But I just wanted to show you some of the things that you can do. Some of the things don't have to be all junk journal-y. They can be just regular schmegular journals. It doesn't have to be, you know, one thing or the other. It can be a combination, however you want to do it. I hope you find this interesting and it's something that you want to try. Again, we're going to start simple. I look forward to this. I'm excited about this. It's been a while since I've been excited about a project on this channel. I'm really excited about it. So let me know what you think. I hope you will join in, and I can't wait to see what you make. Posts as you go along on Instagram or on Facebook in the Facebook group, however you want to do it. But I'm excited to see what we make. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and plan to join in. Please give me a thumbs up if you liked the video and you may be interested in this other video. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.